All right, so Steph Curry, I've been hearing some news. Now, I might be a little late because this has already been reported, but hey, I'm gonna make a video about it. So, Steph Curry, arguably the greatest shooter of all time, might be in an open relationship with his wife. Very interesting. At least that's what it's alleged. That's what the rumors are, right? So we're gonna have to make that pretty clear. It's just a rumor. We're just gonna assume it's true because that's what makes the video interesting. And if it is true, that would be a shame. But then again, it doesn't surprise me with these popular athletes. But here's my take. I don't know why you would even call it marriage, because it isn't. When you go to a wedding, what do you see? You see people. You see the pastor. You obviously see your wife to be. There's a reason for all of that. Because if you want to get married, you can just sign a certificate and just get it done, right? But the reason why you have a ceremony is to be held accountable, right? When you do it in front of her, you're being accountable to her. When you make a promise in front of those who were in the ceremony, in the wedding, you are being held accountable. When you do it in front of the pastor, that symbolizes that, okay, now you are also accountable by God. So you're literally 3 times accountable. That's how serious this is. I think we have definitely lost people's sacredness or the importance of promises, especially when it comes to marriage. Because remember, back in Bible times, people were willing to die to make sure they kept their promise. Remember that lady? I can't remember. I think this guy made a promise that if they won the war or something, the first person or the first thing that walks out of his house, he will sacrifice. Remember that one? Not realizing that it was actually his daughter that walked out first. Yet the daughter was still willing to go through with it because she made a covenant and a promise to God, right? That's the length of what people were willing to do back then. It's a serious offense if you make a promise to God and you break it. Hence why it is also in the Ten Commandments, by the way. Thou shalt not commit adultery, right? So, it's amazing how people don't have that reverence anymore when it comes to that promise. Because when you're in the wedding, you are saying that you're going to be faithful, you're going to look after her, you're going to better for worse, that kind of stuff, right? People don't have that reverence anymore, right? And this is why I'm making this video because, hey, be sure who you want to be with. If you don't think you can spend the rest of your life with that person, don't marry the person, right? What Steph is doing, assuming this is true, this is not a marriage, right? Because marriage is supposed to be with one person, by the way, man and woman, not man, man, or woman, woman, man and woman, only one, right? Because you're literally breaking the commandments when you're not doing all that, okay? It is disappointing because Steph Curry is one of my favorite players, and I thought he was one of the few guys that was like, you know, the real deal Christian kind of person. I did hear he was a Christian. I don't know if that's true, but I did hear that Steph Curry was a Christian. But like I said, we still don't know this is true or not, but we are assuming it's true. But yeah, it's very sad. But also, it reminds us that, look, athletes are not our role models. I look up to athletes in terms of how to train, maybe how to be able to be focused at the gym or working hard like Kobe Bryant did. But it's, they're not role models. Remember, I love Kobe Bryant. He was probably my favorite player to ever play in the NBA. But he's not exactly someone you look up to in terms of character, right? I think we can all agree on that. But that's not the character, that was not why we liked Kobe, right? We only liked him for his game. And I think we need to take that approach with Steph. Like, I love Steph Curry as a basketball player. He's the greatest shooter. I think he's the greatest small player to ever play the game, with no doubt. But I don't look up to athletes in terms of how to live my life, in terms of making decisions. That's where you read the Bible. That's where you read the Bible. But that's my take on it, man. Obviously that's his choice. He can do what he wants and everything like that. But it just reminds me, I think, that okay, just make sure you are focused on who are the true role models, right? People like Joseph. Remember Joseph in the Old Testament? He was the guy that was tempted to, be with the Pharaoh. I think it was Potiphar's wife. Potiphar's wife. And he refused. He was willing to die or even go to prison because of that, right? There are many people in the Bible that we can definitely look up to, like Job. He was a good role model. He was the guy that was like, no matter what you do to me, I'm still not going to curse God, right? And I think the Bible talks about, I'm not sure how old he was when Job died, but apparently he must have been at least 160, because I believe, I have to check this, but I think Job was 140 when he died. Let me just check this quickly. How old was Job when he died? Yeah, so apparently he lived to 140 years after God restored everything that he lost. But Job was an old man before everything bad that happened to him, so he must have been close to 200. My guess is about 180, 190. That's ridiculous, right? Google it. I just literally just Googled this. Those are the role models we should be looking up to in terms of how we live our lives in character. Okay? I think that's something that we should definitely keep in mind. But hey, I want to hear what your views are on this. What do you guys think? Do you think this is true? If it is true, what do you think about it? Do you think, hey, that's Steph Curry's choice, or I don't see anything wrong with it, or no, this is wrong? I would like to hear your views on it, right? All I'm gonna say is it's definitely not found in the Bible. You know, so just make sure that when you find someone, make sure you believe you can, when you make that promise, that promise is something that you're gonna keep for the rest of your life. Being faithful, you're gonna look after her and everything like that. That's part of the promise. If you don't believe you can do that with her, don't even try it. Right? Let's try and make sure that we really take these kind of things more seriously, right? Especially when you involve God into these kind of things, because like I said, when you do a wedding, God is now involved. Well, God was involved anyway, but you make it official when God is there. It just reminds us that, hey, don't joke around with stuff like this. There's a reason why God made the commandments. If He designed us, He knows how we operate, right? So anything that we do that goes against it is only going to damage us, right? It's like the analogy, if I designed something like a car or a boat, right? If I designed a boat, the boat's not meant to fly. The boat's not meant to go on the road. It's only meant for water. But people think they know better and they're trying to fly the boat. It sounds pretty silly, doesn't it? But that's almost what we're doing sometimes when we go against God. So I think that's what I want to mainly make sure, that when we know the Ten Commandments, that's actually like a manual on how we're supposed to operate in life. And it's actually for your own benefit. It's not to punish you or to restrict you. It's actually to make you operate the best you can. Right, so let's always keep that in mind. Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you got any questions, please post, comment, subscribe. You guys know what to do. Cheers.